have the same deforestation, we would say we still have the same agricultural problems. However, the case is different. The thing about meat industry is that it actually wastes the crops we have, because it's just a simple case of the energy pyramid. In order to grow meat, well, the animals need to eat the crops. In order for the human beings to get energy, they need to eat those animals, and energy is lost in this case. According to PETA, even up to 1,000 kilograms of crops are needed to grow 1 kilo of meat. We say the agriculture wouldn't become more extensive because the meat industry is just wasting the crops we have. If we just took all the crops that we had before and, well, made them suitable for human consumption, we would have enough crops to feed even the starving people, and we say this would be a better thing to do. Now, the second thing was about consequences. They were talking about transition from one sector to another and about job losses and all the food crisis. Well, the thing about food crisis, I've already told you that, well, we're just wasting crops in the meat industry because, well, I have told you we need way a lot more crops to, like, grow up a cow than for a person to eat. That's the thing. But the job transition, we say it would be gradual. Because when people stopped eating meat, well, it just wouldn't somehow become just quickly catastrophic, because it would be quite gradual transition. And the other thing, we would still have alternative. We would need to concentrate on alternative methods to how to get food. And we say, well, there wouldn't be such big job losses. Now let me move back to the case that we have presented to you. And there were a lot of things that they were saying that methane is natural and there's nothing wrong about that. Well, the same could be said about CO2. It's also natural. We breathe it out. But what we're saying is meat industry is emitting methane in extensive levels. Organic industry doesn't do that because, well, it's just organic because it is clean. It's just using different ways to get rid of all the pollutants, to get rid of all the corpses and all the similar things. It even uses renewable energy instead of burning coal or all the other fossil fuels. We say that is the case. And if we stopped supporting the current commercial meat industry, we wouldn't have so much of these gases. Now, they also told us that we need to concentrate on reducing the emissions from cars or similar things. First of all, this is not mutually exclusive. And the second thing that, well, the case about meat is that not so much meat is needed, not so much meat as we eat it now is needed. Because, well, would be enough to eat meat twice a month, and that would be enough. Meat industry is completely unnecessary industry, and that's why we do not need to support that. Now, speaking about agriculture, that we will still have the same with chemicals, we say this is not true, because different regulations are applied for human food and for the crops that are used for the meat industry, so the situation would be different. And finally, speaking about GMOs, well, we don't say that they are necessarily harmful. What we say is that we are against irresponsible use of that, and it is exclusively meat industry that tends to use them irresponsibly because they can help them increase their own profits. Ladies and gentlemen, because of all this pollution, because meat industry is completely unnecessary, and there are better things we can actually invest to stand for this type of position.
You talked about why the meat industry is producing greenhouse gases, is that correct?
Well, it's not the meat industry itself, but there are a lot of supportive industries. And because meat industry needs so much of energy, well, it is supporting all the dirty energy industry as well.
So the meat industry and the other industries as a whole related to the meat industry are producing greenhouse gases, right?
Yeah, right.
Then if the meat industry is producing greenhouse gases, why do we not restrict car industries or other more chemical-based industries that are producing even more greenhouse gases than meat industries?
Well, first of all, sir, we say that's not mutually exclusive. We can limit emissions that we have from cars at the same time as limiting the pollution that we get from the meat industry.
So you're saying that you're going to people not drive cars and people not eat meat at the same time?
Sir, first of all, we're debating about meat industry right now only. Car industry might be a totally different debate. We wouldn't be against that, but we say let's concentrate on meat industry. And since it is harmful in this place, well, we need to change something in that.
Okay, you talked about why it will be a waste. Why the cows are producing. Why the cows are eating crops for their meals, right?
Well, they are usually even overfed in order to get even more meat, so that's would be not the right word to use, but yeah, that's.
And you talked about why GMOs are used for the companies to maximize their profits, right?
Sure.
Are you aware of the fact that Australian cows are eating plants, not crops? And Australian meat industry is one of the biggest meat industries in the world. What do you say to that?
Well, I'm not sure about all these actual things. However, the fact is, when speaking about commercial things, well, if companies need to get profit, it usually tends to get that profit in any way they can. And in a lot of cases, that's pollution, that's using even illegal things and using all the possible methods that can increase their profits. I'm not sure about Australia, but that's a lot of cases with a lot of
I
companies.
understand. If the people are suggested not to eat meat, what do people eat?
Well, we say people still can choose organic meat. However, what